So, you've seen the title of the video, you know what this is. There's a little bit of backstory. If you want to know about the RE5, this isn't the video for you. There's lots of different ones out there. Pick one and choose. But this is mine. It's a 1975 M model. If you don't notice, back here, this is not stock. There's a lot on here that is no longer factory. The frame is factory. The engine is largely factory, although it's needed to be torn down and rebuilt. I think I can say I'm one of the very, very few people that have torn one of these engines down and rebuilt it. I'll save you the trouble. No, you cannot get pretty much any of the internal engine seals anymore. You will have to fabricate several of the seals yourself and have a pretty in-depth understanding of what's going on internally in the engine to actually rebuild these. These are nothing like a Mazda 13B, 12A, any of the Mazda engines. They're much more similar to an NSU R080, although even then, they're not really the same. It is a big old one rotor, 500cc, give or take a couple. Very similar in construction to an NSU R080's two rotor, except this is just one rotor. Has a very distinctive sound. If you've seen any of Rob Dom's Miata, single rotor Miata videos, yeah, it's pretty close to that. But I bought this from a friend in college. He rung me up and said, after he saw I was rebuilding the 13B in my RX-7, he rung me up and said, "Hey, do you want to buy a rotary bike?" Well, wasn't really in the market, but he gave me an offer I couldn't really refuse. So I am technically only the third owner of this bike. I had to go through a whole bunch of DMV stuff to get a title that was originally from 1982 into my name. Anyway, have the title. It's with me now. But that's kind of as much background as I want to go in with this. The big change here is obviously it's moving towards turbocharging, and that's not the only thing. It's moving towards fuel injection, modern digital ignition, pretty much. So whenever Suzuki designed and built this, one of the key factors was for it to be one of the most technologically advanced motorcycles ever built at the time, and at that time it absolutely was. It almost bankrupted them because of it. So this bike will be the answer to the question that should never have been asked of, well, how technologically advanced could Suzuki have made it if it was built in the 80s instead of the 70s. So in the 80s, turbocharging was the new thing. Fuel injection was the new thing. Everything being computer controlled was the new thing. So what would have happened if instead of stopping production in 76, what if they released a new model for 1985? That being said, there's a lot that old 80s computers did wrong, and one of them was they weren't designed particularly to last. And that's because they didn't know how. It was kind of a Wild West, so naturally, none of the stuff was particularly reliable. Well, it is now 30 years, almost 40 years later. Oh, it is 40 years later from 1985. So we know how to make computers that actually work. This will be driven off of a Microsquirt V3. It has plenty of outputs capable of driving everything and being able to comfortably control everything that's here. This is kind of an introduction video into this project. It's a little bit, I can go a little bit more in depth later on if the interest, follows, but should be very interesting. I have no clue what this thing will look like when it's done. Although even with the bare frame, the turbo, and the tank on it, I know it's going to look exactly the way I want it to. So, anyway, this is a short introduction to the project. There won't be any sort of regular uploads for this. This is more of a passion project whenever I get the chance. You'll never see another one like it. There's a lot of, I say a lot, there's been 5 or 6 pretty heavily turbocharged RE5s built before this, and this one's definitely aiming to be the most cohesive package. The one that can just, get up, fire up, go, and have everything just work as a stock bike should. So there's a lot to this. I'll take you guys along as far as you want to see it, but should be a pretty interesting little project.